Okay, so this feature is used when we're investing and we don't just put in money at the start. It's that we keep putting in money and putting in money and putting in money. So every month or every year, whatever, you're adding money to your investment, okay, on a regular basis. So not just a one-time thing, it's a reoccurring thing. Okay, you invest $340 every month for 7 years. You're going to get this investment compounded monthly at an interest rate of 2.75. How much money are you going to have at the end of the 7 years? Okay, so we're going to look at this list of things. N is how many times it occurs. So every month for 7 years. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 12 times 7. Every month for 7 years. That's my N. That's how many times it's occurring. I is the interest rate, and remember when it's an I, we just leave it. We don't change it to decimal. An R is when we change that to a decimal. So an I is we just leave 2.75. Okay, PV stands for the previous value. So how much money did we have when we started? When we started this thing? 0. We didn't have any money. Okay, PMT is the payment. So what kind of payment gets made on each of these times? So we're going to do $340 each time. Here's the thing. If it's money that comes out of your pocket, it's a negative. So if it's a positive, it's because you made that. Okay, if it's coming out of your pocket, which we're doing, we're investing it, so each time we're spending it, it's coming out of our pocket. So negative. And future value is the FV. That's the question mark, right? Because that's what we want to know. We want to know what do we end up with. PY. How many payments per year? So kind of that chart on the board, remember? So when you see monthly, that's what we're doing. So then that means there is 12 payments a year. And compounds per year is the next, and it's telling me it gets compounded monthly. So then that is 12. Okay, so let's see what to do in our calculator. So open up your calculator. So this is a button we've never done before. Apps. Okay, under the apps, finance, so click enter. And then we're going to do number 1, it's the TVM solver.
Where's the app?
Mine's right there.
Finance.
Finance, TMV solver. So enter, enter. Okay, everyone sees the screen? Same thing? Okay, so write down all the info we just got. And you can do 12 times 7 right in there, by the way, and it will just mathematically do that for you. Okay, now I'm going to go to the future value spot, and do you see here on your calculator in the green on enter, on top of the green enter, it says solve, so that means green. So I'm going to go alpha to hit the green, enter. And there it is, that's the answer. So after 7 years, That's how much money you're going to have after 7 years. Okay, everyone got that button? You go alpha, it works. Head nods, people were getting this. Anybody not that they want me to come look at their calculator stuff? Looks like Josie's ready to come over and teach if anybody needs help. Okay, let's try number 2 then. You invest $50 every month for 10 years. So let's already put this stuff in. Investing $50. So payments are going to be minus 50 on the payments. Every month for 10 years. So at the N, for N, I'm going to do 12 times 10, monthly, 10 years. Okay, next, it says the investment gets compounded annually. I'm going to go to compounds per year and put a 1. Interest rate, so the I is 3.35. And I guess we could have done this one. How many payments per year? 12, because we're doing the $50, we're doing it every month. And what's our starting amount? 0. What's our ending amount? That's what we're going to figure out. Okay, so type that in, and when you get to these two, be careful, because when you type in the 12, it changes this one to 12. So just be careful of when you get to those ones. Make sure they get typed in properly. And then hit alpha, solve. So alpha, enter. Your mouse isn't moving? Can you just hit alpha? Alpha? Oh, okay. Hit enter or something. 0, enter. Something that's because it changed the other one to 12 when you pushed the other one to 12, right? Okay. You can just leave it because we gotta go back and solve for that. We'll put your mouse in there. Okay, and we'll second solve. Alpha, no, sorry. Alpha, yeah. Alpha, solve. Okay, everyone good with the type? So I'm getting 7,096, is that what we're getting? Okay. Okay, now, this isn't the answer. This is how much money we have at the end, okay? But that's not the answer. I want to know how much interest. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how much money did we take out of our pocket. Okay, how much money did we put into this? What was coming out of our pocket? We were putting $50 out of our pocket. We did that 12 times a year for 10 years. So, out of this final money, 6,000 of that dollars was because we put that into it. Okay? So how do I get interest? We subtract, okay? So interest is the final minus what you put into it will show you how much the bank contributed, right? Because that's what I'm kind of answering. The interest is you thinking about how much does the bank contribute to this. Okay? So be careful just what kind of question I'm asking. It was the same, we did the same thing, but the question was different. Okay, number 3. Okay, you invest $2,500. So payments minus $2,500 on the payment every year. So I'm going to go to payments per year. I'm going to write a 1. I only make that payment once a year for 12 years. So 1 times 12 is the N. 1 payment a year for 12 years. The investment gets compounded annually. Okay, compound per year is 1. 2.8%. Okay, what's the return on your investment? So I'm going to start with $0. We're going to figure out how much we get at the end. Okay, so type in, and then when you get back to the future value, hit alpha, enter. Okay, everyone is getting that number? Do I have a match with somebody? Okay, we need to figure out the return on our investment. So we're going to have to figure out the interest part. So how much money have I put into this myself? I put in $2,500 one time a year for 12 years. So I actually put in $30,000 of my own money into this. So therefore, if I take away those two numbers, subtract, that's the interest, that the bank part of it. Okay? Now, we have a different question this time. So same ideas, make sure you answer the question. Return on investment. So I gave you a very simple formula. Your money made divided by money put in. That's the idea. How much money did I make? AKA the interest, the bank. So that's the 5,000 number. I made that much money and I had to put in $30,000 of my own money. So there was a 16.9% return on my investment. Okay? And that return number is always expressed as a percent. So obviously when I divided, I was getting a decimal number and then I moved it. So just move it 2 places, okay? Okay, last question. You are going to be working a little bit backwards. Okay, you invest $700. So payments minus $700. Every 6 months. Okay, how many times a year? If you're doing something every 6 months, you're doing it twice a year. If you do it twice a year for 8 years. So the number is twice a year for 8 years, and your payments per year is 2. Next sentence says your investments get compounded quarterly. So compounds per year is going to be 4. You end up earning this interest. What's your interest rate? So the I is going to be a question mark. Previous value is that we are going to start with $0 at the very beginning. And we're going to actually have to go to the side here and figure out that future value. Okay, we put in how much money of our own. So we were doing $700 twice a year for 8 years. So that's how much money we're putting into this out of our own pocket. Does that make sense? And then it told us our interest. So if I add the interest, so if I say, what did I put in, how much interest, that would be my final number. Okay? So don't put interest in there. I think we talked about this yesterday. It's still on the board. Remember, your final is always your start plus your interest. Your interest is your final minus your start. Okay, we could go either way. Okay, type in, give me an alpha enter on that this time. So the apps button, finance, solver, get that all in there. Okay, once you hit alpha enter, I'm getting 3.15 as the interest rate.